Culturally clueless.
All right, you guys, it's official. The information is out. So the police in the UK banned the Maccabee fans a little while ago, and everybody was screaming anti-Semitic, but it wasn't actually that. The police now released a statement or some information saying that it was about 500 to 600 experienced fighters from the IDF who were not afraid to use violence even against the police. And so the police said, no, we're not doing this. We're not cool with this. Nothing about anti-Semitism, I tell you. And Crash Patel, the guy from the FBI, he used a government private jet to fly out to watch his girlfriend sing the national anthem at a tennis match. The world is going crazy and even crazier. With that said, salam alaikum and welcome to Culturally Clueless.
People talking loud, everybody's got a tape. Scrolling through the headlines, don't know what's real or fake. Late night conversations, what's the truth we chase? World keeps changing pace, but we're all in the race.
What's up and salam, beautiful people. Thank you for being here once again. Actually, all of those that are here once again. Shout out to all of you regular listeners and watchers and viewers and whatever. Hope you guys are doing great. And there's some stuff to get to this week. So let's get straight to business. New York is definitely outraged in a very positive way. New York is going crazy. They're upside down. A lot of people have been celebrating. It's a historical moment. I'm not going to lie. Zohran Mamdani made it. He became mayor, the youngest mayor, 34 years, something that people hold against him. They say 34 years old is way too young. He's not experienced enough. And there was a very funny comeback for that. And that was, if you want Andrew Cuomo's, like, who wants Andrew Cuomo's experience? You know, like the man might be older and might be experienced and whatnot, but who wants that awful experience? Like nobody, basically. Zohran held a speech. It was very powerful. And he literally captured the crowd immediately. Let's watch some of it.
I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name as we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few. Tonight we have spoken in a clear voice. Hope is alive.
And let's go for just a little bit more, just because it was a very good speech. Spicy, brave, it was bold, it was out there, literally out there.
On a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few. Tonight we have spoken in a clear voice. Hope is alive. Hope over tyranny. Hope over big money and small ideas. Hope over despair. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Now there was this one guy, he had something to say. He was endorsing Zohran Mamdani. And when I saw that statement, I was like, oh, you again. You guys remember Van Jones, that guy that calls himself a advocate for justice, social justice, and, you know, all this prison reforms. We talked about him a little while ago when he was making these tasteless jokes about Gaza, that we only see Gaza dead babies and Diddy online, and we need to thank Iran and Qatar for this. And I'm like, oh, bro, just go sit in a corner and be quiet. You know what I mean? Like, he was endorsing Zohran Mamdani for a while, and now has something to say that is a complete lie.
Is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight. There was some...
At this point, you guys, is this hate? Is this envy? Or is this like somebody paid me to say this? What do you guys think? Let's listen.
I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas. Senegalese taxi drivers, and Uzbek nurses.
You guys see the crowd is going crazy. He's mentioning like literally the people who live in New York and people who, like he's talking about the New York lifestyle, everybody included.
Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties.
Yes, he said that speech is divisive. I don't know where this is divisive. He said he could have picked up some more people. I'm just wondering which more people he's talking about. Like even a Breakfast Club picked up on this, right? There's this section for those who don't know the Breakfast Club. There is a segment with Charlemagne, Donkey of the Day, where he points out somebody stupid doing on that day, and they get literally Donkey of the Day, and he does it actually really good. If you guys don't know it, go check it out. He gave Van Donkey of the Day, and I loved every bit of it. He even told him to shut the F up forever. And I agree. At this point, I agree. So let's check the part that they played on a Breakfast Club of the speech. That was a good one too.
Will go hand in hand as we work with police officers to reduce crime and create a department of community safety that tackles the mental health crisis and homelessness crises head on. We believe in standing up for those we love. Whether you are an immigrant, a member of the...
So you guys see, yeah, Charlemagne, I have the same question. Where is it divisive? I want to know. Like this is such a blatant lie, which can be proven or disproven so easily. We don't even have to dig hard, go deep into files and whatever sources and I don't know, look in books or archives of different videos. It's literally happened a couple of days ago. And you're telling me, so who didn't he mention? Who did he exclude? I want to know who? I don't know. Maybe he didn't mention disabled people. He didn't like who? I just want to know. I want to understand. He didn't pick up everybody. Who did he miss? I'm just trying to find out. He mentioned the homeless. He mentioned I don't know. I just really want to know, like, why is nobody asking Van a stupid question? And it is a stupid question. Now we have to really like stick on stupid stuff that people say that should be by now irrelevant because their takes are definitely not. Like, I don't know which speech Van was watching. I don't know where he was with his head. Or maybe he means like Zohran should have mentioned all of the people that endorsed him at time. Bruh, like, come on now. Okay. So he ran, and Zohran he ran his campaign on making life more affordable. New York is one of the, if not the most expensive city in the US. And he wants to make life more affordable, because people are literally crying. A lot of people during the pandemic even left New York. But New York is New York, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you gotta love it or you gotta leave it. It is what it is. But he wants free buses for everyone by 2027. He wants children under 5 years old to get free childcare. It sounds amazing, and there's countries who really actually did it. It's not so far-fetched, but it just sounds crazy with this government shutdown in the US over there, and that's just like, I don't know what to say, you know what I mean? He wants to freeze rent for some time because the rent has been going crazy and is shooting up the rooftops. So the thing is that I don't know, like all of these politicians, they campaign on things and then most of it they don't fulfill anyway, right? So we can't be mad at the guy if he doesn't come through with all of the stuff, because at the end of the day there is only so much he can do. Why? Because there are higher powers over him that he has to go through in order to put things in place. You know what I mean? So just alone, the childcare for the children under 5 years old would cost an approximate of $6 billion. And that needs to be financed somehow, right? The money has to be found somehow. And he has an idea. He wants to up the taxes for corporations and top earners. So he has a plan, and he is endorsed by the governor, Kathy Hochul. She likes him. but she said she is not about to raise anybody's taxes. So I don't know how this is going to work. And somebody who is obviously like a fascist and imperialist, like Trump, he does not really like it. So he's threatening with defunding New York, which is absolutely insane. You don't like the guy, you don't like his ideas. You called him a little communist, like very condescending. But you want to punish, like, what is collective punishment? You want to defund New York? You're going to punish all the people in New York for what? For voting him. Yeah, granted, over 1 million people voted for him. He won this vote by over 1 million people, which is definitely historic. But still saying, like, you guys, collective punishment again. He's threatening with the national troops. What can I say? It's, this guy is unstable. He's absolutely unstable, and it's Zohran has been getting it. Like, he has been getting it, like all this defunding and all the sending out the troops. I mean, he did it. There's a bunch of cities where the troops are out. As we know, they're like ICE is out and about. The National Guard is in certain places, you know what I mean? And I will say this, right? You can call me Negative Nancy, you can call me a Debbie Downer. I am not about to get excited for a charismatic politician. I mean, he is, and I say this quote unquote, he is just the mayor of New York. So it's not going to affect us in a big way, the people who don't live in New York, but it's still a historical moment and it's still a good moment. I'm just not, like, I got so excited about Obama and it was like a slap in the face. And I understand the man really tried hard and did a lot, but he tried harder on some very bad and evil things that he's still standing behind to this day. And that is, I'm sorry to say, or not sorry to say, extremely disappointing. So I'm not about to get excited because he is charismatic and he is a Muslim. This is more for me where I'm gonna have to be like, I'm gonna scrutinize you even more, so to speak. But nevertheless, it's a win for New York. He gave people hope, and this is what people needed: something completely different, something authentic, someone that they can relate to, someone that they can identify with. And he's giving them that. And he, as a lot of people pointed out, and I wholeheartedly agree with it, because when I saw that interview where they interviewed all the mayors who are campaigning, or to be mayors who are campaigning, there was a question asked, and that was the moment where I was like, this is like 100% the best answer one could give. Apparently, the first travel of the mayor, the foreign travel, I should add, is very important. So the question was, since that is very important, where would the first, where would your first travel to? And everybody answered Israel. One person answered Israel and then Ukraine, but Israel was always their top choice. And Mamdani said, I'm going to stay in New York. I want to talk to the New York people. I think that is the moment where he got a lot of people's hearts, because he felt like, okay, while all of these people, choosing to fly to this one place that is causing so much heartache, so much atrocity, so much problems, and so many like issues, even for Americans, because America first, that slogan or that mindset is long gone for many, 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 many people, especially many, many, many politicians. Okay. And now Zohran Mamdani winning this as a Muslim, he faced a lot of criticism. Like, as I said earlier, just him being 34 is one, but it was more like he's a jihadist, he is terrorist empathizer. They called him everything that they call everybody else these days. And I'm so sick. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really getting bored of all of this. Like, okay, so we're all the same, I guess. So we're all anti-Semitic, we're all terrorist empathizers, and we're all what is it again? I don't even remember. But whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, we all get the same titles. So we're the same people, I guess. Like, okay, whatever. So he had a lot of that. And it's so funny. People say, okay, that's it for New York. It's going to go downhill even more so. And maybe it does, and maybe it doesn't. But you know what? He had death threats. He had stalkers. He had all kind of stuff. He's dealing with it, and this is not an easy life to have, and especially not also for his family. Like, he's married. I wanted to see who he was actually married to, and this is very interesting. Rahma Dawaji is her name. She is of Syrian descent, 28-year-old artist who was born in Houston to Syrian parents from Damascus. Her parents, like Mamdani's parents, are also very successful. Her dad is a computer engineer. His parents, the dad is, what was he again? Oh my goodness. I forgot. But oh yeah, no, the dad was a doctor. And the mom is a filmmaker. She made a film. I think she even made a film with Denzel Washington at some point, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So he was born in Uganda, and the dad, he was actually expelled from Uganda in the early 70s because he was a critical thinker of the government, of the whole system and everything. So he was kind of like kicked out. And then in the 80s, they even revoked his nationality. But he came back to Uganda because he just wanted to give it a second chance. He just wanted to work things out. So yeah, he returned. Zohran was born, and I think when he was 5, they moved to South Africa, and from South Africa, then they moved to the US. So, and both Rahma and Zohran, they met on the dating app Hinge. You guys, I know the name, but strangely, I don't even know what the app is about. I think, did they not promote it with this whole thing? Oh, when you find your match, then you just delete the app. And this is, I don't know, like, this is a very weird marketing strategy, because is this not what you do generally? Like, you have an app, you meet someone and you delete it. This is not like normal procedure. But I don't know, you guys tell me. And not only did people have bad things to say about Zohran running for mayor of New York, they actually put their money where their mouth at. Like, they didn't just talk the talk, they walked the walk. A lot of money was spent by many, many people. To name a few, Estee Lauder allegedly put 45 million in. Bill Ackman, he put money in. Disgusting guy. He was like saying all the disgusting things, and then in the end he's backpedaling. Hey man, I work with you. It's so embarrassing, y'all. The hypocrisy is so embarrassing, so embarrassing. The guy from Airbnb, the founder of Airbnb, put money in, and we're talking millions. These people did not put just like 1,000 or 10,000 or 20. These people put in millions to sabotage his campaign, to go against him, put money into other people like Cuomo or anybody else, as long as Mamdani doesn't win, right? Who else? Yeah, the guy from Home Depot, Walmart, Airbnb, I did say, I think, yeah. So and many more. I can't remember all of them, but there is a lot of money that came together just so that he could. But this is what I'm saying. Like, if you got the people, you got the people. Then this is what I mean. And money didn't matter, because people are sick and tired of what's happening in the world. People are sick and tired. They need someone that speaks for them. And he did speak for them. He's speaking for the New Yorkers. He included everybody. He's even including so much of an anti-Semite he is, including the Jewish community of New York. He is very much inclusive. So Mr. Van Jones, I don't know where he was or what you was watching, but it was not this speech. So as I said, I'm not gonna get too excited about him. I'm just going to be watching. I mean, he's the mayor of New York. It's not going to affect me or anyone who does not live in New York, but it's interesting to see where his journey is going to take him. Will he be able to push through what he campaigned with, or at least some of it? Will he do something good? Will he be actually honest and genuine, or will he show a different face? Will he fold in the end to the pressure of the system? We don't know. We can just be on the sideline, watch, and see what happens. And we're going to move to India now. So we talked about the right-wing Hindutva. We talked about it in the past, how they destroyed churches and mosques, and they kill Christians and Muslims, right? everyone who is not Hindu needs to be assassinated. And this has been going for a while, and I need people to put the same energy towards all of these undercover apartheid countries, the same energy that we put towards the blue occupation. We need to put it towards the same countries or the same doings by other countries that are still like, undercover, more or less. So let's check this video out, because this was very...
I love Muhammad. Indian Muslims are being targeted for saying and displaying these 3 words: arrested, silenced, homes torn down, all because they said, held, or posted signs that read, I love Muhammad. But how did a simple declaration of faith provoke such a harsh and aggressive crackdown against Muslims? It began on September 4th in the city of Kanpur in the state of Uttar Pradesh, where local Muslims gathered to celebrate the Prophet Muhammad's birth. Tensions flared when local Hindus objected to this sign. They claimed it escalated a traditionally subdued celebration. Police intervened and filed criminal cases against roughly 24 people.
Yep, you guys, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, people get arrested for celebrating the Prophet ﷺ. People get arrested for believing. That's why I say we need to put the same energy towards the systems, the governments who are doing what the blue occupation is doing, but it just doesn't have that much attention on it, or it doesn't have as much coverage. And we know what India is doing. We know about Kashmir. We talked about Kashmir. It's nothing new. And now let's move to Candace. And I have to put out a disclaimer. When people ask me, oh, so you're a Candace supporter? I don't support anyone. Okay, but I can't help if I agree on certain things that somebody says or doesn't say, right? Or proves, I should say, not doesn't say. If she has something that I find interesting and I go research it, I just find it interesting. That doesn't mean I support her or anybody of that matter. Because one thing I have learned, and that is, we don't trust people. We just trust what we see, what we research, and what we find out, right? Do I like Candace? I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with growth. And I feel there was some growth happening, because when she came out, I know she said some very horrible things about the African American community. I'm not gonna lie, she said some very ugly things about her own community and to her own community. But when she came out, I didn't know her. A lot of people were saying, oh, she's horrible, she's horrible. I saw that she was she was tackling this family issues in the US, and that's not being around. I thought, okay, this is not so bad. I heard some other stuff that she said, and I can only hope that she grows as well. Like, I mean, she was supporting Trump like crazy. She was supporting Israel like crazy, and this, like, it slapped her back in the face, and not just, it was a simple slap, it's a heavy slap. Now she's hardly not talking about anything else, but there was something else. There was something very interesting, because she does this investigation about CK, and I'm going to say this, not that I care about CK too much, but I find this whole incident quite interesting, or whatever you want to call it. I don't mean to be disrespectful, because when somebody is killed, it's never nice, or hardly ever nice, but yeah. So 12 cell phones, that's what she's talking about. 12 cell phones on this day at the scene where CK was assassinated. Let's see what she has to say.
Here's some explosive news for you that I can now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, confirm. Putting my name on this. Not only can I confirm this, but I can publicly challenge the very Zionist occupied Trump administration, who is aware of this, to deny it, to come out and say, no, that's not true. There were, for whatever reason, 12 Israeli cell phones on the ground at Utah Valley University the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This has completely spooked the people.
So this is insane. Why are they hiding this? I mean, 12. I wonder why 12, like 12 people. And wouldn't they know better? I mean, this is what I don't understand. And this is why I say it's somewhat deliberate. There are so many. The internet is not quiet, and the internet is not lazy. People are quick to research, to check. There is all kind of different people on the internet who are out there looking for stuff, who are experts in certain fields. I mean, you guys, you could have at least used the VPN, or you could have turned on your phones, or I don't know what, like, what was going on? Like, I want to know. I'm curious too. And that's why I say, like, I'm curious. Yeah. So with that said, I just wonder, like, her reaction about Erica Kirk. She's like, yeah, what do you want? Why you guys are telling me I should address her, but what is there to address? She's just done now an interview. I don't know. You find this normal behavior of her, Candace? You think this is these are the times that I understand. I don't know. Like, you're criticizing everybody else. But this woman clearly now is taking over, and it has become like the spokesperson, and the way that she's doing it. And I don't mean to tell anyone how to grieve or not to grieve, because sometimes when these things happen, or these when this happens, a lot of people find things to do because they just want to busy themselves, right? But she has two little kids who saw that, and I feel like most of the time should be dedicated to them. I guess they have money enough to have nannies and maybe family members who help and, you know, look after the children and whatnot. But I don't know what to say. I'm just, again, I didn't want to speak on this too much. Also in the past, because I just want to watch. I just want to watch. Now I want to talk about something that is a little bit more serious, but could it even be more serious? Let me not even judge. I don't know, like, what is going on this week? Trump is threatening Nigeria with war. And I feel we need to talk a little bit about it, because again, there's a lot of things when these statements are made, a lot of things are very, very unclear, right? So this is how do I say? This is more of threatening. This is why it's very funny to me, right? So basically now the US is very concerned about the assassinations of Christians in Nigeria. They are saying basically nowhere in the world are Christians assassinated like in Nigeria by the radical Islamic extremists. Now, you guys help me out here, because I always talk about how language matters and how important language is. Radical Islamic extremist. So it's either you're a radical or you're an extremist. But how is it like a radical extremist? I don't understand. Like, an extremist is bad. A radical person is also bad. But what is a radical extremist? Like, where is the difference here? Can you explain that to me? I find... I would love to understand this term that has been overly used and nobody's questioning. What is the difference between a radical, an extremist, and a radical extremist?
Nigeria is the latest country US President Donald Trump has threatened to bomb.
It will be fast, vicious, and sweet.
Military action to protect the country's Christians.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about, and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns are blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities.
So a pretty direct
you guys. This is going to be very interesting, so you better pay attention. But before I get to tell you the story, or some of the story about Boko Haram, let's watch some more.
Atrocities.
So a pretty direct warning there. The Trump administration's also listed Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which is basically a designation for countries that are seriously violating religious freedoms. And Trump's not alone in his assertions.
There is no country on earth where Christians are more persecuted than Nigeria. Since 2009, more than 50,000 Christians have been murdered by Boko Haram and radical Islamic extremists. More than 20,000 churches and schools have been burned to the ground.
There's no doubt Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. They're openly targeted by
You
groups like
see
Boko
how the Americans, the US is so concerned about the Christians, but what about the Christians in India? Let me do some of the whataboutisms as well. What about the Christians in India that are being taken out by the Hindutva? That's okay. What about the churches and the Christians that are taken out in Palestine? That's okay. What about the Christians that you've been taken out in the Congo? What about the Christians you've been taken out across Africa and all of these wars you waged on them? You know, what about the Christians in South America? Like everywhere there was war, people are being taken out, but you worry about Nigeria the most because of your planted Boko Haram. But let's get into the story of Boko Haram. But let's watch one more bit, just one more.
Nigeria. They're openly targeted by groups like Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda and Islamic State. But have 50,000 Christians been murdered in the last 16 years? While there absolutely have been high-profile violent attacks on Christians, it's unlikely 50,000 of them have been murdered because of their religion. US officials appear to be referring to a report by a group called Inter-Society, which calls itself an anti-Christian persecution and radical Islamism watchdog. But none of the data in its report is backed up by evidence. The Nigerian government says US officials are being misled.
All right, let's dive straight in. So Boko Haram, at some point they turned into ISWAP, right? But we're going to get into this in a bit. And they were founded by a guy called Muhammad Yusuf in the early 2000s, right? Muhammad Yusuf, he was giving kind of like religious lectures. And so a lot of people came together, a lot of Muslim people came together. Mind you, the Muslim population in Nigeria is mainly in the north, and Christian population is mainly in the south. But you'll find Christians in the north, and you'll find Muslims in the south as well. It's just like predominantly Muslim is the north, and predominantly Christian is the south. Okay, so this guy, right, this preacher Muhammad Yusuf, he became somewhat radical, right? I'm not a radical extremist, but you could call it that, I guess. But he was somewhat radical. So he was preaching some more crazy stuff, right? And he wanted where to put Nigeria under Sharia law. He wanted an Islamic state because he felt like the state of Nigeria was not godly. And he also felt like the education, the Western education, you know, at schools, that was like messing with the children's minds. So they wanted to change things around in a very, very massive way, okay? And everyone who doesn't agree would have to be taken out, okay? So what started as a religious study group became a rather extreme within time, right? There was different factions built. Like some of the people there were like, no, that's a little bit too crazy for me. I'm out. Like all I care about is the religion, you know, for the most part. But there were like also some of the, how do I say this? You know, like rotten apples, and they were like, nah, I need to do more. I'm actually down with this plan. So that was division between this group, and some of the members started creating factions, as I said, and they were getting violence, right? They formed militias, they started to get violence, and they got into many disputes with the people in their own community, like in the area, but also with the police, also with law enforcement, right? And this happened like across several cities. You know, it was not just like one place. It was like one what do you call it? One place in 2009. It was a full-blown revolt. It started. The attacks were launched across several cities, on government buildings, on police stations, and everything else, you know, everything you can imagine, what you know, like. So the Nigerian military obviously got involved, and they have taken out about 700 Boko Haram members, okay? And in that same year, Muhammad Yusuf was arrested and he died in police custody. So that was that. But he had a deputy. You know how it goes. Like these people, there is already like a second in command. And yeah, he was ready to go. His deputy Shako, he was ready to go. He took over pretty much, and he waged war on the whole country. It was actually absolutely insane. Again, mind you guys, it started with a peaceful study group, and then it turned into a full-blown jihadi mission, right? For not all of them. Again, the rotten apples, right? They did all the actions that you can imagine, or that we were brainwashed with all the terror organizations do: the killing, the kidnapping, you know, the usual stuff. And by 2014, they were controlling like a large part of the country, as big as Belgium. So Nigeria has about 230 million people. Belgium has about 11.8 million people. So you can imagine this is like the area that they controlled. Okay. And Shako was crazy. He was actually kind of like worshiping ISIS, right? The also like another group where a lot of American officials admitted the creation of it to be from the US. Okay. So he started copying them, you know, copying their style of doing things by like filming gross execution videos, right? Just like ISIS did. And he gave himself the title Commander of the Faith, right? Just like Baghdadi. He had like, he called himself, it's not Commander of the Faithful. Yeah, that's what it was. And Baghdadi was calling himself the same, right? So in 2015, then Shako pledged allegiance to ISIS fully. He full-fledged wanted to be part of ISIS, and for ISIS they welcomed it, because to them they want to take over the globe. They want to bring their ideology everywhere, right? So now we have people in Africa, they want to join us. Let's go. Okay, that's what they thought. But they had to realize that dude was not normal. He was crazier than crazy. I mean, ISIS is crazy, okay? But if they say that this guy is insane and they were not cool with him, because he was like indiscriminately just like assassinating Muslim people, he had to go. They kicked him out. And because the guy was unhinged, he was uncontrollable, he was paranoid, he assassinated his generals just for asking the wrong questions. He was that paranoid. He felt like he was, you know, like his position or his power was being, you know, how do I say? Oh my gosh, I'm missing a word. His power was in question, so to speak. Okay, and they replaced him, with Muhammad Yusuf's son, Abu Wasab al-Barnawi. Oh man, see, I forgot something. I wanted to do that. No, I forgot. Al-Barnawi is a very interesting, or that stood out to me, because you guys, we talked on this channel about Fatima al-Barnawi, I suppose. She was a Palestinian freedom fighter. She was half Palestinian. The dad was a Nigerian. The dad actually fought in the Arab Revolt. I wanted to look up if this guy is actually related to him, or if it's just like coincidental that they have the same name. Anyway, Abu Wasab al-Barnawi was Muhammad Yassin's son, and he took over because he had more of a like organized, you know, approach. And that was that. In 2020, then, they became a dominant faction with the backing of ISIS, right? And they turned into ISWAP, as I said. They rebranded and turned into ISWAP, right? And they launched an attack in 2021, I believe it was, on the Sambisa forest base. That base was Shako's base. Okay, so they launched this attack, and this whole event ended with Shako taking his own life, because he did not want to be captured. He rather took his own life before wanting to be captured, right? This somehow reminded me of the Hannibal Directive, you guys. But it's not, yeah, you know what I mean? So, as I said, by then they became ISWAP, and Abu Wasab al-Barnawi disappeared in that same year, you guys. And nobody knows where he is, where he went, if he's still alive, if not, whatever. Like nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody ever actually found out till this day where he is. I don't know if he was taken out. I don't know if he was in the end a plant to take out Chaco. I don't know if he worked with I have no idea. Literally, I have no idea. All I know is that all of these groups, all of these so-called terror groups have been created. And this is like so many presidents, vice presidents, or political figures, let me say it this way, said that it was their creation. It was a US creation. So now they want to attack Nigeria because of this, because what they're saying is that Christians are being taken out. Mind you, 70% of the assassinations of ISIS have been Muslim people. So yes, Christians are being assassinated in Nigeria, but Muslims even more so. And this is what anyone in Nigeria who knows a little bit about who knows a bit about anything would tell you. Okay. And this is very interesting timing as well, right? And again, I'll say it again, if the US cares so much about Christian lives, you guys go and check what's happening in India. You guys go and check what's happening in Palestine. You guys go check on what you did and have been doing and are still doing to your own people. You know what I mean? I gave enough examples. I can go back in time and talk about the what do you call it? The genocide in Namibia from 1904 to 1908, okay, committed by Germany, but it was still backed by other, you know? So yes, if you care about Christian people, please do care about all Christian people. But again, the timing is very interesting. You know, there is like an undercover fight. You know, China and US have been at it for so long in so many different ways and so many different, you know, situations and proxy situations and whatnot. This is very interesting. I mean, there is so many information that are out there and you don't know what's what and whatnot, because on the one hand they say France is also involved in this because the uranium was cut from them after they've been kicked out of Niger. Burkina Faso kicked them out, Chad kicked them out, Senegal kicked them out, Ivory Coast kicked them out. So the French need uranium, y'all. It was the main supply, and now it's gone. And through Nigeria, who knows? You know what I mean? So, but again, back to China and the US. That China and the US, they've been fighting for power in Africa by investing in so many different things. The US invested made some investments in Angola, in Ghana, and so on. And so does China. China is very busy in Africa investing, and they invested about 25 billion just this year. And this is just for construction in Nigeria. They invested way more. They made a huge deal with Nigeria, like it's an economic deal. They invested in infrastructure and so on. But 25 billion is a lot of shmoney, y'all. So I'm just saying, there is also like this idea of them being them showing interest or wanting to attack Nigeria because of what's happening. And Trump, he used to be that guy that I don't like wars, I don't like, and I don't know, like, I guess money means everything to this guy. So yeah, I get it. And since we're in Africa, we're going to stay in Africa and talk about Sudan once again. You guys, I will say this, we have to put the same energy towards the people who are enabling all of these genocides and all of these killing of innocent people worldwide. Now, we do know that the RSF is receiving military equipment from the UAE. We know that there's a lot of gold smuggling going down. There's a lot of, resource grab and everything going down, 100%. But there is also like a propaganda war. And I just want to say, the reason why I say this, yes, the UAE supplies the RSF, but there's also other countries that are as complicit as. And I just need everyone to be on the same page here, and we need to call it all out, all of them out, okay? It's not just the UAE. Okay, so, but there's some propaganda, social media is a big weapon, as they said. And let's check this out.
Why are UAE-based influencers targeting Sudan online?
والله العظيم لو بيدي أنا حرام لا أخليكم ذكريات والله ولا تصيروا شيء ما بنفضكم.
Another sang taunting Sudanese civilians.
أبو لولو أبو لولو جاينكو أبو لولو جاينكو.
Abu Lulu, the RSF militia commander who bragged about killing over 2,000 civilians and filmed himself executing them. And a third.
بتبكون دم أنتم أطولون شعرة من محمد بن زايد شعرة.
I am actually so embarrassed. I think I'm not even Emirati. I'm not even from that region. I'm still, this is insane. Let's check some more.
As evidence of the RSF's massacres in El Fasher emerges and UAE support for the paramilitary group continues, these influencers and seemingly bots have tried to shift the blame to the Sudanese army and away from the RSF war crimes. And some of these posts are extremely racist. One even replied to a post about the UAE exploiting Sudan's gold, saying monkeys don't have gold. One of the most vocal in this online campaign is Amjad Taha. He's UAE based, positions himself as an analyst, and frequently appears on Western media. He has consistently linked Sudan's army to Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood, framing the
If this is not tasteless, I don't know what is. If this is not disgusting, I don't know what is. Okay, so as I said, right, we get it. We have way more testimonies from survivors now from the Al Fasher, from the Darfur region, and they're telling us about the gold mines and about the resources, because Sudan has way more resources than just gold. I told you guys, it's agriculture is very important. We get to that in a second, because there's so much land, fertile land in Sudan, but they also have other resources like copper, which is very important for all the phones, all the devices, all of this, AI stuff and everything that we're using. Okay, so then there's iron, there is uranium as well. There's so much different stuff. I don't even know what to say. Like, they're even saying that the gold production or the gold export doubled in the past 2 years or 2.5 years since this genocide has resumed. And this is not even the whole gold that's going out. There's a lot of gold that is undercover going out, like that's been smuggled out, right? And it's very interesting because a lot of the gold, right? And this is the part where they have a system in place where a lot of people wouldn't even know. A lot of the gold actually goes to Switzerland. It gets refined there, it gets rebranded there, and then it gets given or sold or however to all of the different countries around the world, right? So as much as the Switzerland is always like never like involved in anything, no, they are, but behind closed doors, undercover, not knowing, you know what I mean? So you can't say they are not complicit either. And let's go back to agriculture. Like, for example, the Nile is very, very important for Sudan as well, because of the agriculture, but also because of the electricity that's coming from there, okay? And here's the thing. There is tension, and we talked about this in the past as well. There's tension. So the Blue Nile, particularly, the origin is in Ethiopia. And Ethiopia decided to build the Grand Renaissance Dam to kind of like, help with their water. And this is a problem for Egypt and Sudan, because they obviously are connected to the Nile as well, and the Nile is a lifeline to them. And what they're saying is basically, okay, this is stopping our water flow. So there is some tension, there is some problems going on. And we have to see where this is going. The dam is there, and it's not gonna go. But the Nile, before the Blue Nile in particular, as I said, the origin is in Ethiopia, so they have some rights to it as well. But now that this whole genocide is going on in Sudan, it's a little bit difficult to deal with all of these issues all at once. And I want to say, like, Sudan also has oil resources, right? And this is mainly in South Sudan, and South Sudan split from Sudan in 2011. It became its own country, and China is a major investor in this oil. So this oil goes travels through the pipelines to the Sudanese ports, and then to go to the international destinations, whoever bought this oil, or whoever it needs to go to. So Sudan, this is why Sudan in so many ways is taking big time hits, right? The people are being taken out. There is, again, I want to make it very clear, it's not a civil war. It's the RSF versus the SAF, yes, but it's funded by or through the complicity of other countries from outside who are supplying the RSF. So they taken a major hit. People are displaced. People are starving. This is when people talk, I'm going to say this as well. When people talk about humanitarian crisis, can we just also add it's man-made humanitarian crisis? Because I feel like, no, it's not a humanitarian crisis that just happened. This is man-made. These people are made to starve. These people are made to be displaced and not have aid, medical aid, or any type of aid, okay? So we need to be very real, and again, language matters. And let's move right on to the West Bank, okay? I want you guys to watch this video with me for a little bit, because when there's olive harvest season in Palestine, this is what happens usually in the West Bank.
For generations of Palestinians, the annual olive harvest has been associated with tradition and a deep connection to the land. But this year, more than ever, it's been synonymous with settler violence.
Palestinian olive pickers have been attacked at least 259 times since the harvest season began last month, according to the Palestinian Authority, outpacing the violence of recent years.
Oh, come on, don't hit her! Hey!
Israeli settlers have carried out the overwhelming majority of attacks, assaulting the Palestinians attempting to harvest their olives. More than 4,000 trees and saplings have been damaged so far, according to the UN.
You guys see, this is insane. This is what these people have to endure, right? They have to go through all of this attack for picking their own olives, which is a tradition, which is part of the culture, which is what part of, you know, like the connection to the land. These are olive trees. Many of them are planted there for centuries. Let's watch some more.
So far, according to the UN. The Israeli military has often played a supporting role to the settlers, forcing Palestinians off their land and restricting access to the olive groves.
So this is where you were attacked?
After getting a call that his mother-in-law had been detained while picking olives, Ahmed Shakarna grabbed her heart medication and rushed to reach her. He didn't expect what unfolded next. An Israeli settler grabs and then hits him, before two Israeli soldiers push him down to the ground.
You guys, it's insane. 4,000 trees are damaged or burned. How hateful can you be to burn olive trees?
Him down to the ground. One soldier hits him with the barrel of his rifle before the settler comes in to land several more blows. Shakarna and his mother-in-law were released without charge. He says he suffered a mild concussion. We experience these attacks every season, a season that has become bloody. We will not abandon it, he says. The olive trees existed before the occupation. It is valuable and dear to us.
But these people are going back. They are resilient. They're saying there is no way that they're going to stop doing this. They're not going to allow the violence that the settlers, backed by the state of the occupation state, the occupational state, backed by the IDF, so to say. They're saying we're not stopping. This is part of who we are, and we are going to continue. They're not going to take that away from us. Amazing. Most resilient people. Okay, you guys. Dick Cheney died. 84 years old. If you don't know who he was, from 2001 to 2009, he was the vice president to George Bush, and he was the catalyst for the Iraq invasion in 2003. Okay, he's responsible for all the atrocities that went down, from almost 1 million people killed. Okay, Dick Cheney was the man. And Dick Cheney, proven wrong, right? Moving along with this plan of let's invade Iraq because they have mass destruction weapons, or weapons of mass destruction. And it was proven there were none there. They still assassinated Saddam, and they did never hold him accountable. Well, he will be held accountable. He will be. I'm not worried about that. I am not worried about that. That accountability he will experience is even going to be way different level of the one here. But yeah, that's what happened. And it happened on the same day when Zohran Mamdani won actually mayor of New York. So when he was asked about it, he was like, anyway, I mean, what can he say? This man, nobody's going to cry after you. Nobody's going to, you know, let's check out what this former veteran, Iraq veteran had to say.
Graham Plattner here.
Also, this outfit choice is a fire.
Usually when a former,
yeah, he does.
That's one thing you have to give to the guy.
Yeah.
When a vice president passes, we all take some time to mourn. As a veteran of the Iraq War, I'm going to say, no, not this time. Over the next couple of days, I'm sure there are going to be thousands of think pieces written about his legacy. But the only legacy that we have to remember is that he wasted thousands of young American lives, hundreds of thousands of Iraqi lives, and trillions of dollars.
And this, you guys, is my problem. If you don't care about, if you're a racist or whatever, or if you don't care about other people, I get it. But here is something that you should maybe consider or think about. Military life, okay, going and being forced or driven to commit all of these atrocities, I'm just going to say it how it is, fudges up everybody's life. These people come back and they have PTSD. They start drinking. They start taking drugs. They start, you know, like we see this. We see this in the occupation state. We see this. There's people who came back from Gaza who committed suicide. There's people who came back from Gaza who assassinated other people. These people are not normal. You messed up these people's life by forcing them to invade other places and commit atrocities. And you don't care because as a leader, or as like the leadership, you guys are sitting home, chilling, you know, making all that money in the world, dealing with all the stuff you want to deal with, building ballrooms, or whatever countries you're in, you know, you get money to say whatever it is that whoever is paying you wants you to say or do for that matter. And you're okay with it. You're okay with sending out these young men and they come back not being the same anymore and not having a life. And you don't care because you know what, these people, it's in rotation. Like then the next people come up, but now you have a problem. You're facing problems because people don't want to join the military anymore. And as Cardi B put it, you want to force people to join the military. You want to make it obligatory now with all of the TikTok twerkers and TikTok dancers and TikTok performers or Instagram clowns, whatever you want to call them. Let's watch some more of what this veteran had to say.
Of young American lives, hundreds of thousands of Iraqi lives, and trillions of dollars for absolutely nothing. If we take anything away from this, It should be that we need to build a politics that keeps the politicians like Susan Collins, who support illegal foreign wars like the one in Iraq, accountable and get them out of office.
Anybody that says that is gonna run away with it. And it's not new. Barack Obama defeated Hillary Clinton with that. Like, that was it. It's so fucking annoying that, like, Democrats...
There is nothing left for me to say except, like, whatever, Dick Cheney, whatever. Okay, we're gonna move on, you guys. Brace yourself for the joke of all jokes. Okay, we're gonna have to go to Venezuela now. We're gonna travel a little bit away. Oh no, we were in America with Dick Cheney, so it's not that far away, but far enough. Okay, we're gonna go to Venezuela, and we're gonna talk about Maria Machado, right? That woman that is backed by the U.S., backed by Netanyahu. She had this to say.
Agents, Iranian agents freely operating in Venezuela, Hezbollah and Hamas being located in our country. And as any criminal structure works, the moment you start, weakening them and they falling apart is when you cut the sources of their and the inflows of their criminal activities. And we have asked for years the international community to cut these sources that come from drug trafficking and other criminal activities.
You guys heard it. Hamas, Hezbollah is in Venezuela. Wow. Powerful. Hamas made it all the way to Venezuela. And the Hizis as well. So Hezbollah is going to leave Lebanon to go fight somewhere else. How did you do that? And how did you get Hamas over there? Please tell me. I would really love to know. I just really want to know. I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Venezuela, and it's the first time I'm hearing this type of accusation. I would love to know. Let's watch some more because she had more.
That's what I really want to understand. Are they justified, or are they, as the UN would say, extrajudicial killings?
This is about saving lives. And Maduro is absolutely conscious, and he has been warned what not to do. These deaths are the responsibility of Nicolás Maduro. He knows, and the rest of the drug cartels that is in power in Venezuela, that they should stop these activities in order to prevent more deaths, not only of the Venezuelans.
You know what it is, you guys? It's the way she talks. It's just like everybody else. And as we learned, every accusation is a confession. And I'm not saying Maduro is good. I'm not saying he's good. I don't know enough about the guy to say he's good or bad. I know I saw some Venezuelans saying he's bad, but they say Trump is bad. You know what I mean? Like, even worse. But let's watch some more.
In order to prevent more deaths, not only of the Venezuelan people, but also from people all around the country. And look, this is very important. We don't want war. It was Maduro who started this war.
You are someone who stands for people's rights, for the rights of Venezuelans, for their democratic rights, for their human rights. What about the rights to due process of the people who were on those boats?
I certainly defend the rights of everyone, not only Venezuelans. That's why my voice.
And you guys, it's all about Maduro. Maduro, it's him. It's Maduro. It's Maduro. And this is the problem I have with these people. You guys don't understand. You think the more you emphasize it, and I understand some people work like that. You can really hype some people up by emphasizing something again and again and again and again and more and more and more. But for the most part, the people with like more than 2 brain cells, to us, it sounds like push the blame, blame this person. Yes, this person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. You can try to brainwash me, but it's not going to work if you keep pushing everything on that one person. Stop talking about the guy and show us. Okay, come with receipts. Anna, but you have to create the narrative first, right? And then you have to go and destroy. But anywho, I just wanted to share this. I thought it was a very, very hilarious joke. Hamas and Hezbollah in Venezuela. Okay. And now let's talk about this woman. Oh my gosh, Yurem Al-Shalmi. She is the legal chief of the IDF. She's a lawyer. Yep. She was responsible for launching the investigation about that case last year. But how time flies. That was last year already. In Sidi Taman, where a Palestinian from Gaza was brutally, and I have no other word to describe it. Like, I'm lacking adjectives to describe what they do when it comes to their torture methods. So anywho, he was brutally sexually violated, and he died. And this woman was supposed to investigate or lead the investigation, and she was a little bit hesitant about it. But let's see. Let's watch the video.
The Israeli military's legal chief is in prison and the subject of a legal and political storm. At issue is this leaked video of Israeli soldiers raping a Palestinian detainee from Gaza in the notorious Deiman military base. In her resignation letter on Friday, Major General Yifat Tomer Yerushalmi admits she leaked this video to the media in August 2024 to defend the Israeli army's law enforcement authorities. The Israeli...
So you guys remember, this was insane, right? This whole case was insane. But what was more insane, to be honest, is this woman leaked the video. We were under the impression, to be honest, from, I don't know what it was. It was some, but again, it was some news outlet from last year. Remember that they made it look like a soldier leaked that video. Maybe that's how they made it look like. I don't know. They said a soldier leaked that video, but come to find out now, she leaked it. Check out some more.
Law enforcement authorities. The Israeli Prime Minister and his coalition partners responded with fury, stripping Yerushalmi of her military ranks and accusing her of spreading blood libel against the Israeli army.
What happened at Shtei Taiman base caused tremendous damage to Israel's image and that of the Israeli Defense Forces and soldiers. It's perhaps the most serious propaganda attack the State of Israel has faced since its establishment.
The investigation into the leak is sidestepping the actual rape and other crimes that are happening in Israeli prisons like this one. The UN's Independent Commission of Inquiry says Israel's gender-based and sexual violence against Palestinian detainees is widespread and systematic. This will have implications on the ongoing war crimes investigation conducted by the ICC and the genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice.
This is a very powerful example about the failure of the Israeli justice system.
And as pointed out, it's not even about that they find this so-called incidents insane and crazy. No, they find it crazy that she actually leaked the video. She is now the bad guy in the story. She's the villain in the story because she leaked the video. And she's not, by the way, that doesn't mean that she is actually the good guy in that sense of because she's on our side. No, it's not that. She leaked the video, but she's still backing the whole entity that's built on lies, land grabs, manipulation, corruption, and violence. That's what she is still backing. So don't get it wrong.
The justice system, when it comes for the grave violations and the serious crimes that the Palestinian prisoners face in the Israeli system.
Ironically, Yerushalmi was already criticized for shying away from opening investigations into other serious incidents for fear of facing the wrath of Israel's right wing. Hesitation that served Israel's impunity, but did not protect Israel's image or the military advocate general's job.
And we're staying in the occupational entity in the colony, okay? We're staying there because right now people have been pleading and begging, right, for the past 2 years to allow international journalists into Gaza to do their own investigation. Now they're getting ready for it. They're preparing. They're nervous. They want to have certain areas, designated areas, up to the yellow line for the journalists to be able to come to. Of course, they're going to be guarded by the IDF. They want to show them some of the Palestinians. They want to show them how it is. And they say that they have proof that Hamas was using people as human shields, that they did the mass assassinations. They're blaming basically everything on Hamas, how they were doing for the past 2 years, and they're continuously doing that. They say they have proof, they have the receipts, they're ready to show them. They say they have data. But my thing is, what are you preparing for? So let them in already and let people move freely wherever they want to go. Like, you give them, this is the area, this is the designated area for the journalists. I'm sorry, but this is all not 100% real. It's disingenuous, and it's like always some crafted reality. Okay. And they're scared, though. They say they're scared, so they try and, you know, like, to see what they can get ready and not ready, what they can get ready and not you know, to have any bad surprises, I guess. But what I find interesting here, and this is the same what happened in Germany in 1944, when the Red Cross wanted to come and check certain areas, right? And they were also led by the German military. Everybody was nervous, and it was all designated areas. And these so-called designated areas, they were prettied up, right? There was the how do I say, the barracks that these people were put in these camps. They were prettied up and beautified with some paint, and flowers and plants were planted. They staged football games and all type of different activities for the children back then, so that when the Red Cross came, they would see, oh, it's not actually that bad, right? And another thing that happened as well, they started deporting people, because so it's not also like crowded and people are living upon people, you know what I mean? So they deported people, and this happened in Denmark, this happened in Germany, and it's going to be probably the same thing that they're doing. That's why they're preparing for it. Because if you don't have nothing to hide, I'm just going to open the door and I'm just going to let the people come in and find out whatever they feel they want to find out. Right? I don't know what to say. Let's see what visual evidence they're going to have this time, and let's see what it will be this time.
Israel is preparing a coordinated media campaign ahead of foreign journalists' entry into Gaza for the first time after 2 years of genocidal killing and destruction. Officials say the goal is to control the narrative as reporters document the destruction of Gaza firsthand. Under a plan the government presented to the Supreme Court, Israeli and foreign journalists will be allowed into Gaza under IDF escort up to the Yellow Line, i.e. in Israeli-controlled areas of Gaza where there are just some hundreds of Palestinians reported.
Okay, you guys, I have one more thing before I go. One more thing. This was a video sent to me by a person that listens regularly, or watches regularly, watches and listens, I hope. And she go, no, I don't even know if I should say her name. I didn't ask her, damn it. Okay, I'm not going to say it. You know who you are. So she sent me this video. I don't quite know fully why she sent me this video, but for some reason, sometimes the universe, it's how it works. She wanted me to see this video. So this video speaks on a very important thing that we, for some reason, don't do enough. And we've been doing this here, but not enough. And let's check it out.
As activists around the world, even if Congo is not your focus area, you're not focused on Congo, you have to include Congo in your activism. because you wouldn't be doing what you're doing today if it wasn't for Congo.
This man is 100% on point. He is talking about we need to include Congo, and this is like some people forget that. Some people, and I understand that when people are passionate about a cause, they are passionate about a cause. But I want people to understand that all causes are related. All causes have a common enemy. All causes are going through similar things. It's just a different. People look differently, people are in different places, and people have maybe different lifestyles, but there's so much, like when we look at starvation, man-made starvation, blocked aid from coming in, it's everywhere the same, and it's done by the same entities. So let's hear what he has to say some more.
The children of Congo have been going through abuse. Millions have been unalived. Millions are exposed to starvation. If you use a smartphone.
Yeah, so you guys, do not forget the Congo. It needs to be included. We need to talk up. We need to speak up and talk more about talk up. God. So thank you so much for the video. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. It was definitely a nice way to close this out, you guys. And like always, it's late and I gotta go. And I know you guys gotta go too. So I hope I see you guys in the comments. I was not active this week in the comments. I'm very sorry, just a little bit busy. Yeah, so with that said, I I will make some time respond to some of your comments at least. I know I'm not good at it whatsoever, so please apologies, but you guys know that actually about me. You guys know. With that said, have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, whatever time it is when you're consuming this. And I'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Peace out and salam. But I'm trying to find answers in the chaos, peace inside my mind. Life's a tangled web, I'm just passing through. If you're feeling lost, I'm right here with you. They're calling it a blood libel, y'all. Like, this is bad for Israel. This is bad for Israel's image. Are you guys, have you been around the past 2 years? Are you actually aware of what you have been doing for the past 77 years? Almost like going on 78 years? Or have you guys, like,